I'm going to take a moment, boys and girls, pull up a chair. Uncle Kai is going to break some shit down for you in a way that you haven't heard anywhere else this week, but this is the truth. And bear with me, because I know that people are going to hear this at the start and think, oh, okay, here we go. I already had a white knight today break down in alligator tears, and he just couldn't take it, my observation. So bear with me. I think you're going to be okay with this as it ends. Let's be honest. Odyssey is a product that's not cooked. It is just not done. It's nowhere near done. And they decided, hey, we're not going to do a beta, for obvious reasons. They're just pushing it out the door to get it on the books, get the money on the books for this year. And I'm not a big money mogul guy. Maybe this is a good, decision for various reasons, whatever. That's a thing that I'm not going to get into discussing. But I will say this product isn't done and they're releasing it anyways. Now let's look at why I'm saying that. Odyssey has what I believe will be, we haven't seen the final and the alpha, but I absolutely believe because of A, the bits that we've seen thus far, and B, what we've been told, and C, as importantly, the fact that K is handling this. Dr. K. Ross, my absolute, I absolutely love and adore Dr. K. And she handles the Planet Tech and has done the rendering team. And the Planet Tech and the PBR, the physical base, makes the entire galaxy just better. So the fact of the matter is that it's like, I believe for sure that's good. That's fine. No problem. The other aspect of this is the pew-pews. That's where they've put all of their efforts, and what they've gotten for it is, from my money, a sort of FPS experience that is on par for 2005. Just saying, that's what it is. I don't think that that's a fail. I think that considering what it is in an engine that is a Galaxy Sim. It is not in a specifically designed for what all of this is. I think it's good. It's fine. Everything else is gutted or deleted. The scavenging loop that when they first started, they designed a suit around it. And then when they first started describing it, we were all having images of mini games and sort of adventures where you're climbing through a ship and trying to pull out wrecks and trying to, pull out components without damaging them and do this and do that. That has been boiled down to cut open a thing the size of a lunchbox with your one tool. There is no failing it. You just cut it open, click, 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 take the three things, and you're done. Now, some people have saying, oh, hey, you have to fight people before whatever. Yeah, you don't get points for that. That's not part of the scavenging loop. That's FPS. We've already discussed FPS. That's done. I'm talking about scavenging. There should be gameplay there, and there's not. Exobiology. They put in a little mini game. It was ill-conceived for many reasons. Number one, you put in a Twitch-based sort of skill game into what is not a sort of Twitch-based game loop. That doesn't sort of make sense. People didn't like it. You started it off way too hard. People did not like it. In addition, it's a situation of with accessibility issues. They used red and greens. With the scanning of the planet, they used blue and red and orange and yellow, whatever. With the scanning, it's blue and greens. It was very poorly conceived and thought out, and it seemed like here's just a thing. And as soon as everybody said, we do not like this, they were like, okay, we've deleted it. It's not a thing anymore. And that is just disappointing. It is not sort of good game design. To get to a point where you, A, gave us this ill-conceived, ill-thought-out product, and then B, said, oh, by the way, we're releasing this game in 3 weeks, so we don't have the time to fix it. If you don't like it, we're just going to delete it. That's just bad and empty. So it was gutted as all hell, and it is now point and click and you win. Hacking seems to have been removed entirely. Now hacking is go get an e-breach, put it on there, it's a consumable, boom, click, you win. Going into this, internals, ship internals, just nope, we're not doing it. SRVs, there's 4 of them in the game files. They were clearly planned, and it's like, nope, Frontier changed to, we're not going to do this at launch, we'll do it later. Mining, planet side got removed. A decent transition to get on the ship didn't happen. There's just so very many. We've been hitting them for weeks, so you guys know all of these points. Just to put it bluntly, this game isn't done yet, and they're releasing it on May 19th, and it's not going to be done when they release it. This game on May 19th is going to be PC beta. It's going to be a PC beta that lasts for several months. Hopefully, they can sort of tighten it up enough to be a minimal viable product by November, December-ish when they launch it on consoles. I think that's why now we have a very clear understanding why they separated console release with the PC release, because the fact of the matter is, with Cyberjunk, PlayStation made it very clear, no, we're not having this shit. We will allow all of our people to charge it back, which is disastrous for a company and a disastrous PR issue. So I think Frontier had to make the change, had to make the separation of the two. Now, that's the bad news. The bad news is, and I'm just going to put it bluntly, Odyssey's going to kind of suck for a while. Deal with it. Here's the good news. And a lot of people, I think, might not see this potential and be upset with me for pointing out what I think is absolutely true and accurate observations. If you don't like it because you think it's too salty, feel free not to listen. But I believe that I'm telling you the truth. Here's the good news. Number one, the thing costs $30, $40, whatever. It's worth it just for the planets and the prettier, your ships are prettier, the stations are prettier. The PBR rendering makes every object, asset, thing, physical in the galaxy look better, and the planets look better. It's worth it just for that, and it's already an amazing game. Here's the other good thing, which I'm choosing to focus on as a plus about Frontier giving us this half-cooked fucking product. A lot of times Frontier makes decisions, and some of them are brilliant, and some of them are absolutely deeply troubling. And because of Frontier's sort of Gestapo secrecy style of operating, we never get a clue what's happening until it's, there it is, deal with it. This half-cooked expansion gives us an interesting opportunity to actually see things, give feedback, and make a change. So that, had they sort of done it the way they were supposed to, they would have released it and said, here is our scavenging, and it's done and it's locked. Here is our exobiology, and it's done and it's locked. And then you sort of, it's like, okay, here it is, it's done. Well, we don't like it. Well, we don't care. It's done. We've put in the whatever. Because they are going to now spend, I hope, because there's two ways that this can go. The first is, over the next 2 to 3 years, they spend all of their time and effort chasing little tweaks and whatever to try to make their FPS gameplay like, ooh, we're going to make it top tier. If they do that, Odyssey will go down in history as an absolute dogshit product and a failure. Because number one, that's less than sort of 30% of what all of the player base wants. And number two, they will not be able to get it. This is a massive different galaxy sim. This is not Call of Duty, the other sort of top tier FPS games. Their scope is so much smaller that they're able to put in more stuff. Just like whenever people compare storylines or what you can do with special set piece art assets or whatever for a single player game to MMOs, the MMOs always look like ass. They look bad because when you're making something bespoke for one player in a small galaxy, you can just literally create a hallway and dress it up super, super fine because it's just that one little hallway. You control it better. Whereas with an MMO, it's a whole world. You have to be able to, the guy turns left, the guy turns right. There's other people, there's whatever. You're never going to compete. And Frontier, you are never going to compete in making a AAA FPS game. Don't try. What I hope happens is over the next year to 3 years, what Frontier does is put a lot of effort into filling out Odyssey as a product in all of the stuff that is not FPS play. So the exobiology and the scavenging and hacking and stuff with the story and ship interiors and SRVs and other, base building was for sure at one point on the agenda. And then early on, before they even got to, when they got to the point where that first trailer leaked, they said flat out, it is not on the roadmap now. That doesn't mean that it wasn't. We clearly know that it was, because they had shit in the ARC store in the coding talking about how you could update your buildings or whatever, but it got removed. So we have a unique opportunity for the next 3 years where they're putting stuff in a year from now, 6 months from now, 2 years. We have, as they do each thing, we can give feedback and hopefully help to shape it to make it better. I hope. So that's what I'm seeing as the positives here. And I'm going to open this up to the audience now, or not to the audience, sorry, to the group now. Please tell me if I'm wrong. This product isn't done, but that could be a good thing. So we'll start with Orange Phoenix. Go.
Well, fair points. Definitely fair points. You've hit the nail on the head that things haven't been done correctly. I would agree with that. Maybe a touch on the harsh side in some aspects, like Gestapo, maybe not. But yeah, Frontier higher-ups need to relax a bit. This game is great because of its community and its community input. They don't adhere to that anywhere near enough. It became great early on because they relied upon the input of the community. Then they closed the doors and they've never opened them back up enough. And yes, these knee-jerk reactions, I don't like the scanner. Okay, it's gone. No. It needed to be addressed. Why do you not like this? Okay, you don't like this because it's not working properly. Could that be because of the frame rates and people not being able to actually use this mini game correctly? They could have easily got around that, in my opinion, by making it that you had to scan the plant in, say, 3 stages of growth to get the full scan. You still have to work for it. It's not a case of scan and done. And yeah, they could address that, make it a little bit more sort of immersive as time goes on. It's almost like, and I've noticed on the YouTube this was sort of brought up, that they're relying on money, incoming money, their backers. They're trying to rush a product out. Yes, they've been hit with hard times, as we all have with the global situation, but they've not really addressed the problems. They've knee-jerked, and that's what got them into trouble before. Personally, I don't care about the sort of on-foot shooting stuff. That doesn't really interest me. It looks quite cool from what I've seen, but I am happy that the beauty of the exploration side, it seems to be there. The scanning of the planets, this new sort of heat map, it looks great. It's all looking positive, but their addressing of the community's issues is a little bit too knee-jerk, for my opinion.
Wolf.
So from the coding standpoint, with things being deleted or whatnot, I sincerely hope that things haven't been quote-unquote deleted, but just perhaps remarked out and not enabled in the game, so that after enough time where they're doing stuff on their end, they can flesh it out, they can just bring it in, rather than just like, nope, too hard, gone. Because it just, that makes me sad on so many different levels. For the exobiology with the mini game, I watched a lot of videos on it with people doing it, and yeah, Twitch game stuff, that's in some games. People like it, people don't like it. The biggest problem I had, and I'm only mildly colorblind, is I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm like, what am I lining up? Like, it was difficult. I can imagine somebody else with severe color blindness just having a ridiculously bad day without a prayer. I mean, as it is, the normal default color scheme of the game hurts my eyes, and I miss a lot of things, which I'm really glad, we get the ED HUD mod that we can use to change that up. But that was the other thing that I was seeing with it, was just the half-baked maybe, but without any real thought to how usable is this on a whole. And with the FPS stuff in Odyssey, how they're really focusing on it, my really big concern, and I don't think this is a good thing if they're trying to go that way, is if they're trying to make the Odyssey FPS something to entice the esports community to bring them in, because that is
100% doomed to fail. Roy.
4 points. The first one, as far as phase 4 changing from what they, promised, I'm making air quotes. I think they're just being flexible and adapting and overcoming to some issues they've got. I don't have a huge issue with that. I think, though, that in point 2, as we've gone through the alpha, there's been an increasing amount of unresolved gameplay issue debt, and this causes anxiety in the player base until it gets either fixed or more forward-looking roadmap-style communication happens. Maybe that will happen this Tuesday. Maybe it will never happen. It just may be something we have to kind of go through. And the third, as far as the date, the May 19th thing, if doing the gymnastics to push the gameplay, I'll call them placeholders, out by the end of May keeps the shareholders off of David's back, and then FDev can get back to making a great game, I'm cool with that. I get it that there's some gyrations they're having to go through. I think what really matters is if FDev is going to keep everyone being the developers, on deck to continue to fix issues and improve game features over however much time is required into the future to expand those placeholders into actual fun game loops, however much is needed. And then I might reserve my last point until we talk about Crystal Forests, if we're going to get to that.
That's coming right after this. Tweaked, you're up.
Yeah, okay. And I think you made some really good points there, Kai, but after thinking about this overnight, I'm kind of coming at it from a different point of view all of a sudden. I see Odyssey as it stands now, as you're likely going to get it on the 19th, as a frame of a house. Just the bare frame of the house. And for years to come, they're going to be adding on to build that house into what it can be. I would venture to say what we've seen out of the alpha so far is it actually is pretty playable. All the different phases have been pretty playable. Yeah, there's been a couple bugs here or there, but all in all, from sitting here watching videos day and night, I see a lot less glaring bugs than I do if I'm watching, for example, Star Citizen videos where people are standing in the middle of tables and the ships or the SRVs are falling out of the back of ships and things like that. Yeah, sure, there are bugs, but it looks a lot more playable. So from that standpoint, I think FDev's a little bit ahead of the game. This is a huge deal that they're trying to do. They're really trying to open up the galaxy. There's no other game that's doing what Odyssey is going to try to do. So if we have a frame of a house and they add on, as you were saying, for some years, then this could turn into a wonderful, magical addition to the game. It's just, will they do it? Now, that being said, if this game gets released on the 19th for you guys on PC, and I'm watching these videos and I still see the bland interiors of the space stations, and I still see the same NPCs in every station across the galaxy, all my hope goes out the window. That'll kill it.
You're gonna see that. So just be advised. All right. I want to take a moment. We're gonna next week. We're gonna get into this much deeper, but I want to take a moment to shout out this amazing work that you're seeing on the screen. Comes courtesy of the Scott Gust channel, and he put out an amazing series of guides. It will be in the show notes. We're going to highlight his channel next week in detail, but go check out and subscribe to his channel. It is amazing stuff, and he has been killing it.